Hello, traders, and welcome to the market opening preview on a Friday, April 15th, 2016. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you from Pattaya, Thailand. Early in the morning for me, just after 7 a.m. in Thailand, and it is 2010 hours on Wall Street. Traders, like I said, great to be with you. A lot to talk about today. A lot happened yesterday, and I think it's going to lead into today's price action and what we have going on. So, well, let's get started. No time to waste. We've got 6 currency pairs we've got to talk about. We've got some news to talk about that's coming out today. And, of course, we'll take a look at what happened in the indices yesterday. Well, before we get started, let me introduce myself to you. For those of you who do not know me, my name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I will tell you that I do record this in the Asia session. So if you're looking at this at London, just go back about 10 candles, and you should be up to date with where I started the presentation. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006. 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, I came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, I have to tell you, tomorrow I will complete my 8th year here in Thailand, and I've resided here for the last 8 years and absolutely love it. I love being in Asia. I love the Asian markets, and I love the time zone. Traders, I get to trade all 3 time zones and still get a good night's rest. Even though in New York, I'm only in New York for about 2 hours at the most, 2.5 hours, because that'll bring me up to about 11 o'clock, and I'm pretty much finished for the day by then. No, I don't sit in front of my computers from 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. However, I am involved with the markets, and I am in tune with the markets. Thanks to modern technology, iPhones and iPads, I can be on the go and still know what's going on in the markets. So how do I trade? Well, I listen to fundamentals. I need to know what's going on around the globe. And when we talk about news and commentary in just a moment, you'll see why it's so important that you keep an eye on what's going on, because we're going to talk about China today. And, no, we don't trade China's markets, but it affects the markets that we do trade. So it's so important that we understand what's going on around the globe when you're in these positions. And if you're trading intraday like I do, I don't like keeping positions overnight. I'm not that I don't have that personality to do that, because what happens is I don't sleep, and I end up getting up every 2 hours, every hour, looking at my charts. So I realized that after a couple of years, or several years, and I said, well, just intraday. So I intraday trade. I trade starting in Asia, and I trade up into New York. I do trade a different instrument in New York. I do trade options, and most of my options are usually 2 to 4 weeks out. Depending. I do weekly options also, but I do trade options in the New York session. However, Asia and London, I trade Forex. Okay, and I love looking and analyzing charts. I'm a technician. I love it. I love looking at candlestick patterns, price action, price structure, price failure, support, resistance, Fibonacci levels. All this stuff comes together, right? And then you put your fundamentals and your technicals, and you come up with a trade plan. And after you come up with this trade plan, you're going to turn around and you're going to implement this trade plan. And you're not going to deviate from it, right? If price doesn't come to where you want it to be, then you don't take that trade, right? I always say you need 4 reasons to get in the trade, 3 are acceptable. You also have to have 4 reasons to get out of the trade, and 3 are acceptable, right? So if you have those on both sides of the table, and you have some laws in your head or written down, how you're going to trade, it just makes trading so much easier, and money management is so important, as you know. We need capital preservation, right? If you don't have funds to trade tomorrow, you're not going to be trading. You're going to be out of business. And this is my business. And I take it very seriously, and I hope you do too. And you can do it part-time. I know a lot of people still work in full-time jobs and trading, and you can do that. But just take it serious. It is your business. All right, let's get the risk disclaimer. That was a little bit long. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex market. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. So important. Like I said, capital preservation is the key in trading. Traders, remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's get over to news and commentary. Got a little bit to talk about today. Let's see why the markets closed yesterday. And on Wall Street, the Dow 30 closed up 0.10%. The S&P 500 closed up barely 0.02%. The Nasdaq was negative barely at negative 0.03%. And the small cap 2000 was also negative barely at 0.09%. So that's what happened on Wall Street as it closed. Let's go over to the other side of the world here. Let's take a look at the DAX. The DAX closed positive 0.67%. The FTSE 100 out of London closed positive 0.03%. The CAC 40 out of Paris closed positive 0.47%. And the Euro Stoxx 50 closed positive 0.64%. The bulls were in charge in the Eurozone. Absolutely in charge there. So let's come on over to Asia and see what's going on my side of the world, where I'm currently at. And again, I am in Thailand, and it's currently just after 7 a.m., 7:16 a.m. in the morning for me. So let's take a look at what's going on in Asia. Now, some of these all markets are not open yet, but the Nikkei 225 is open out of Tokyo, and it's down negative 0.16%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is open, and they are currently trading at 0.26%. The China A50 is not open, and they closed positive 0.30%. And the Hang Seng is also has not started trading, but they did close positive 0.85%. However, the Kospi out of Seoul is currently trading, and they're barely in the red at negative 0.04% early in their trading day. So let's head over to the economic calendar to take a look at what's going on. We have some very big news coming out of China. We've got like 5 pieces of data coming out of China today in the Asia session. Please look at your economic calendar so you know what time it is. I will tell you that it's going to be 2200 hours on Wall Street, and that'll be 9 a.m. in Bangkok, Thailand time. So China has industrial production coming out today. Also high impact. GDP comes out year on year and also quarter on quarter. They do have retail sales coming up. That's not a big one. And fixed asset investment comes out today. We did have some medium impact data come out, or we will have it come out of the RBA on financial stability review. I don't think that's going to be a market mover at all. However, this China data is going to be very interesting. As remember, this is going to affect a lot of our currency pairs. So we need to make sure we keep a real good eye on that. Traders, I got to tell you, the calendar for London looks absolutely a dud. I have to be honest with you. There is not much going on today. After we finish that, we've got in the U.S. session, Chicago Fed President Evans speaking. All the FOMC members in the U.S. are just talking away. Every day somebody's talking. We got Michigan consumer expectations, medium impact, but I'm more concerned about the Michigan consumer sentiment. They got that as medium impact. I never understood why they do that. It is a market mover, and in my opinion, it should be a high impact news event because it does move the markets, and that's in the U.S. session. Really, folks, that's it. As far as London goes, we really don't have anything in London. That London is absolutely really quiet today. There's no data, just low impact. There's not even a medium impact. Well, the euro has a medium impact. They have trade balance coming out today, but they don't have no consensus, so it's not gonna help us anyway. But I don't think that's gonna affect us at all. So that's it as far as our data goes in the markets today. Let me, however, talk about my commentary today, and the big thing today is this China data that's coming out. This China data that's coming out today is going to be very, very important to our trading today. It's basically going to run the line for today. And yesterday the markets moved, but they consolidated, and you'll see that in the charts today, how markets all of a sudden faded out. And we know it's earnings season in the U.S. All the big companies and everybody is reporting for the next 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So earnings came out. The airline industry did very well. Delta had very positive earnings yesterday and really pushed the markets to the upside. However, the market's basically a sideways, and the people just waiting. They're in their trades. They're going to do what they're going to do. Remember, it's Friday. People are going to be position squaring and taking profits, and that's real important that you understand that as we go into this data that's coming out in Asia and throughout the rest of the day. And there isn't much today, so hopefully. This China data will get some of our currency pairs trading. So, which currency pairs are we concerned with? Well, one is we're concerned with the Aussie dollar, the dollar yen, the euro yen, the New Zealand dollar, and I would say the dollar CAD. So I would keep an eye on all of those after this data comes out and take your trades accordingly. All right, with that, let's get started. Wow, we're at 11 minutes already. This is the euro dollar, folks, and you can see it came down yesterday. Our trade plan yesterday did work barely, came up take profit area, but this is a new day, and folks, we are sideways. There is nothing going on. Most of New York was flat, really not a lot. So I'm looking for an aggressive pullback to the R2 pivot point at 1.1316, and we'll get out at 1.1268. I don't know if that's going to happen. We might only get to R1. And if we only get to R1, and that's at 1300, now that's a psychological level. So that's a good level to remember that we're going to have a lot of orders in there, and it could get volatile at that 1300 level. So if it gets to that 1300 level, that's a really nice area to look for a sell trade. We can sell this back down. We could probably sell it all the way back down to like 1225, 1240, somewhere in there at the S1. I'd say 1240, and that's at the S1 pivot. So we have a lot going on with the euro, but we're looking for a pullback. There's no need to trade where it is right now. If it continues sideways, there's no trade, folks. We absolutely need some kind of a pullback. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. Pound dollar, again, sideways. We're just below the daily pivot. We also have the 55 EMA, and we have the 10 EMA. So we have convergence here with all these at one area and just hitting on it. But look at these candles. They just don't look like they have any strength to them. However, the sell trade is active right now. We can take this sell trade, and your drawdown is very small. So if you got in this trade at 1.4138, you could basically place your stop just above that blue line, which is a 55 exponential moving average. And if it goes above that and knocks you out, you're going to take a 10 pip or a 12 pip hit. But if it works and this resistance holds and decides to drop, off the waterfall, you're in a good position and a good trade, and very minimal drawdown, very minimal risk on this trade. So this is a great trade to take. My concern is what? Position squaring and people taking profits. So we have to watch that, right? I wouldn't do anything until this data is released in Asia, right? But this data is not going to affect the pound dollar. So you could probably enter this if you wanted to. It's not in a bad spot. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Yeah, the Aussie yesterday really surprised me. As if you remember, yesterday we had data come out, but the data, they had 3 pieces of data come out, and they only had one there. Exports was positive. The rest of the data was bad yesterday. It was poor numbers. However, China was talking all day yesterday, and that's why you see this up move in the Aussie dollar. We had a red candle after the news, okay, after the data. It spiked, came back down, and it was red. And all day during London and I don't know about New York because I was in the New York session, but I wasn't really paying attention to my news feed at that point. But all during London, I was listening, and the China was just talking away. Speaker after speaker was making comments on China and what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. So it really moved this pair to the upside. So we got to be cautious of that. And I got a buy trade in here. So I'm looking for this to bounce off the daily pivot at 0.7687. And we'll take our profit at the resistance line at 0.7733. Easy trade plan. Just be careful and be cautious. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. What a beautiful trade we had yesterday. Folks, you can see I put a fib on this here. And the reason I did that was I fibbed the top of the chart all the way to the bottom of the chart. So we have some levels that we need to watch for. If you take a look at the daily pivot, we have a 55 EMA and a daily pivot. And I want to sell there. Okay, I want to sell this there. But I'd rather get a nice 50% pullback, which I don't think is going to happen, but it'd be nice if this would pull back to 1.4796 or the 38.2 fib at 47.50 would be really nice. That that 0.5 is always a good area to get in. The 50s, 20s, and 80s, I really like getting in my trades at those areas, and especially that it's at all one in a 38.2 fib level. That'd be a great trade to get in. However, I have to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to make it back up there, because this pair, when it stays in a direction, it stays until it decides to change. So I'm looking for this to fall. Again, this China data is going to make a big difference in our trade on this pair today. So we can get impacted by the data in Asia today. So be alert to that. Take a look at the euro yen. Nice move yesterday. Look at that big red candle. So today we basically just have a trend line break here. I'm looking to sell this. I want to sell this at 123.27, and we'll take profit at support at 122.78. It's already broken the trend line. It has not broken that 55 EMA, and it has not broken below the daily pivot. So we don't have a trade. We can't take this trade. Even if it doesn't pull back, that's okay. We can wait till it breaks below the daily pivot. Gives us a candle close and a red candle, we can enter there. That's fine, but I'd like to see this pull back up, like I said, to that 123.27, and we could sell it from there. I think that's a much stronger trade. But we got some issues. We got a trend line, we got a 55 EMA, and we got a daily pivot point that's in the way. Okay. All right, let's take a look at our New Zealand dollar. A lot of Forex, what I call Forex junk. Look at left of the chart. That is pretty ugly, folks. You've got these, nice candles, but you could have been short 1 second, it would have whipped you out the next second with an up candle. So pretty ugly looking price action to me. I'd really like to see this clear, so I'm looking for more than one red candle, and you can see the current candle is a doji. So I'd like to get in this at 0.6856, and then we'll take our profit just before the 6,800 area. So I'm looking at 6,815 to get out. I don't want to be in this trade at 6,800. It's psychological level again, right? And we don't want to be in that trade then, because we know there's orders on both sides of the trade, and it's a very volatile area. So just keep an eye on that. I think this is going to be an interesting currency pair to trade, especially with this China data come out. I know I'm really emphasizing this China data because I think it's really going to do it's a big catalyst for our markets today in Asia, and hopefully into London, because there's no data in London, and there's only like medium impact in New York. So this could be the move of the day, and we have to take advantage of that. All right, traders, a little bit over my time, but I had a lot to talk about today. On behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, have a good weekend break, and we will catch you in the next Asia session. And always remember to trade smart and not hard. Traders, have a great trading day and have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend break, and we'll see you next Asia session. Take care, traders. Bye-bye now.